Watch minutes too.
I see it. It popped up. I see it on my end.
Is it on there?
Yeah,
Oh,
I can see that you're sharing it.
okay. Ooh, ugh. I
That was
missed a
successful.
lot.
Now, how did you get up? How did you get up here
Me?
on the panel? How did you get up? Yeah,
Because your
you
very
clicked on
first
the link, right?
comment, your very first comment is your StreamYard link.
Okay, okay. So when you tapped on the link, where did you wind up going?
I wound up going to StreamYard.
The website.
Yes.
Did it ask anything of you?
It says stream this to your audience at the top.
Oh no. In order to get in,
No,
did it ask you for anything?
no, it just said the host will see you in the background and bring you on the stage when you wanted to.
Okay, okay. So Lily,
Maybe
did
because
you get
I've been
that?
on your show.
Oh, I think because Lily had a little bit of a difficulty there, and I haven't added my. I don't think you didn't have to add your YouTube channel, right? When you come on StreamYard, you don't have to do that.
Mine's
That's
already
after
up.
you get on.
Yeah, mine's already on there.
Okay, okay.
Maybe Lily, because when I clicked your link, it asked me which platform I'd like to use, and I just said the default platform.
Okay.
So, but
So
thank you
Jeff,
for letting me put this on my channel.
hey, anytime. Come on, Phoenix. You know you got carte blanche with me. Huh?
I know. I can't hang with you all them hours like I used to.
It's all good. It's all good. So Gem and Company, thank you for that. Uh Gem and Company says you need to register your email for StreamYard access. And they say hello. So hi, Gem and Company.
Hi, and hi, Lily.
Yeah, so now that you're up here on a Whip It Out Wednesday, you know what we do on Whip It Out Wednesday, right? You know what we whip out, right?
I'm looking for your chains. Where they at though?
You want the chains? Want me to throw them on?
I thought you did it every Wednesday with the dollar bills flying in the air.
I usually do. You want me to get them?
Yes.
You want them? Okay,
Yeah,
I'll go
no,
get them.
not yet. I don't want you to lose your thought. I could be thinking
Oh,
about that.
okay, yeah. Yeah, by the way, guys, Phoenix is right. I usually come on and I don all my gold chains.
Yes.
And that's part of the whipping out process. I whip out the gold chains and all that. And all the, yeah. That's the look from the hood. That's the look that, as I was growing up, that was the proof that some people were out in the street making lots of money. They used to wear all their gold. They used to brandish all this stuff. Their sports cars, their motorcycles, just to just to show off that they're making big money in the street. Of course, doing stuff that can can make them lose their lives or their freedom or both.
Yeah, that was clout back then. Was the
That,
gold chains.
that was clout. Yeah,
I couldn't afford it. I could afford the silver, but not the gold.
I couldn't even afford the silver back then. Are you kidding me?
Well, it would still get stolen, you know.
Oh,
I didn't keep it. People would still steal the silver. Like you got to be you could
yeah,
have it at that point. I
yeah,
was going to Piercing Pagoda at the mall to get my silver. So I don't know how real it was, but
yeah. But they'll rob you for it nonetheless.
yeah,
I got
it is.
I'm usually at a truck stop when I'm doing my Whip It Out Wednesday, and and sometimes some of these places that I'm at are kind of rough, like Houston. I could be in Baltimore or Atlanta. Right now, I'm in Denver, Colorado, so I could throw those pieces on, and I might get some funny looks.
Are you ever in my city?
Yeah. Hold on. Let me see if I remember. because it's the southern part of Ohio.
No, I'm in Texas.
Oh no, you mean now? Oh yeah, no, yeah, yeah, Dallas. You're near Dallas.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in
Irving,
Arlington.
Irving, yeah. You're by the stadium.
Yeah, right by it.
Yeah, yeah. Dallas, right? The Dallas Cowboy Stadium.
No,
No,
you know that the stadium's in Arlington and not Dallas.
hold up. Who that is? What are you getting? You getting in Irvine? Who's in Irvine? The Texans? No, they're in Houston.
Uh, we have the Arlington Renegades. There's
Oh,
three stadiums.
that's a minor league team.
Yeah, there's Choctaw Stadium. There's the Texas Rangers. They play in Arlington, Texas too. And then, the Dallas Cowboys play in Arlington, Texas.
Got it. Thank you for that.
Why they don't play in Dallas, I don't
It's
know.
this.
Maybe
It's the
because
same
they
reason
don't have to they don't have to pay taxes to uh
to Dallas.
yeah.
It's probably the same reason the New York Giants and the New York Jets don't play in New York City. They play in the Meadowlands in New Jersey.
Is that why a lot of them live in Jersey?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Interesting.
Giant Stadium and where the Jets play, that's in New Jersey.
Now, I came in late. Did you have a specific topic that you were on? I always come in late.
Whip It Out Wednesday is always about investing in the stock market. That's what it's always about.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean I don't, because usually on Whip It Out Wednesdays,
What the heck?
what I do? I did something.
No, I did. Like, this must be mood lipstick because it's brown, but on my lips it is pink, and I don't like that pink.
That's not the pink you want.
Absolutely not. No. No.
How about some lip gloss? Oh,
How about just some chapstick?
okay.
That's crazy. Pink? No.
That's what your mood is.
Yeah,
Got
my
that
mood.
pink mood.
Look at it, and then the more I wipe it, the darker it gets, and it won't wipe off. I'm such a bad guest.
No, you're not.
I feel
Let me
like
tell you something. This is a lot more interesting than finance. I'll tell you that right now. Finance can be boring as all hell.
Brandon was around earlier.
We're here? No, I didn't see him.
No, he was at Brit Family Fun.
Oh,
Okay, remember when you were talking to Queen's Alchemy that night, and you was talking about the insurance?
yeah.
Which is best for just leaving something? I mean, credit wise. Any like term or I'm one of
All
those
right.
people that's so
So let
no.
me let me let me let me hit you off over the head with a disclaimer, okay?
Yeah.
Hey, professor. Um, Professor, don't think for 1 second that I'm not prepared, okay?
Hi, Professor.
I was sniffing your soap before I even started, okay? And I keep it close by. Hey, before I answer your question, Phoenix, did you know that the professor makes soap?
I did not know that the professor makes soap.
And it's excellent. It's handmade by her, and it's excellent. And it's I
Oh,
don't
I know
know.
he did, but I thought he was talking to a man. I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Miss Tora, right?
Yeah, Tara Helms.
I haven't been around y'all enough to know that her name is Professor.
Yeah, that's her nickname, the professor. I call it because she got her. What the heck? I'm trying to get Tony T. Oh, here he is.
I do know she does. I've seen her on Pinterest.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
Oh, I didn't know she did the Pinterest thing. Hey, T, what's going on, brother? Yeah, I don't hear you, bro.
Hi, Tony.
So, as far as insurance goes, me personally, disclaimer now, this is not financial advice. Once again, I had to get an insurance license in order for me to sell. Oh, he fell off. In order for me to sell annuities, that's a financial product with combined with insurance. So I had to get an insurance license, but I didn't get involved in the world of insurance. And not only that, to me personally, and you may not get this opinion by people in the financial industry, but a source, me personally, I don't see the need for life insurance products. Not for me. They have an excellent sales pitch. It is excellent, excellent, excellent. And I understand why they convince people to get it. But in my case, because of the type of corporate structure that I use, I don't need one of the aspects that make life insurance products attractive. Okay. One of the main attractions of life insurance products is, in the case of your passing, your family or whoever it is that's supposed to receive the money from your policy gets the full amount without being taxed and without having to go through probate court.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the biggest sales pitches of the life insurance. Now, between whole life, from people in the insurance industries that I've had conversations with, the best product is the term life policy, not the whole life, with the investment kicker and all that other stuff. No, term life. Term life is cheaper. It's a cheaper premium to have to pay monthly, number one. And number two, it's for a predetermined period of time. 20-year, 25-year. I don't know if it goes up to 30 or whatever. But the way it's designed, and here's a sales pitch again. Let's say you have a mortgage. Right. Let's say you have a mortgage and you want to make sure that your significant other and your children don't suffer the weight of taking on all this debt all of a sudden out of nowhere, and then you can pay off that debt with the money that you receive from the policy in the event that your spouse dies, so that you don't get kicked out of your home or don't have to get like a third job or a fourth job. Okay. That's the sales pitch. But again, to me, I use corporate structure so that my money can be passed on without having to go through probate, just like an insurance policy. But again, this isn't financial advice, and I'm not gonna.
Right.
But when it comes down to it, according to the conversations that I've heard, term life is the best to go, not whole life. My mother had whole life. I'm not gonna mention what insurance company, but I know that she's had it since 1970, 71. She passed away in 2010, and I received money from that policy. It was like $400 or something like that after all those years.
Are you for real?
Yeah, I'm serious.
I heard a story about that too. That shit was crazy when you told me about it. That
term life. It's the best way to go, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Term life is the best way to go.
You said that to me too. What, Burns? What was that that the insurance company do? The one that you was telling me about what happened with your mom, that they recontract you, or they what is it?
So
Renew
with,
the
so with,
contract?
yeah, so with so with a term policy, when you're new to a term policy, you got to go through a whole process. You give up. I guess they take blood. They take. They go into your family medical history. They take blood. They do a whole bunch of stuff to figure out what they're going to charge you monthly for the amount of money that you want to be insured for, which is another crazy thing to me. Okay, the sales pitch is strong, but it wasn't strong enough for me, because if you're willing to back me up, if you're willing to back me up for $1 million, for example, why would you take that risk on me for $1 million if you thought that I was gonna become unalive within a certain time frame?
Can I give an insight on what happens with and I don't know if it happens here, but I guess it does, because one of my aunt's husband passed away. But anyway, I don't know how much she gets. Now, Social Security, husband was alive, contributing X amount of years. We don't know how much um, he's been contributing, but let's say it goes into the millions. When he retires at 65, which now is 67, you only got like 30, maybe tops 20 years of retirement with good luck and good health, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But what if you die at 65? Damn, geez, go golly, I just retired and I just died of cancer.
Yep.
What happens to that money? Do they
Well,
give
your
it to the
retirement money?
spouse? Yeah, your Social Security money.
Yeah, your spouse gets money.
Does she get the full amount that I was gonna get paid for, or she just get a partial? Because that's the thing that pisses me off about in this society, that we contribute so much in taxes and then here we are, they're saying, oh, there's no money, there's no money.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But I mean, my aunt, she does. I don't know how much she's getting, but I know that my uncle, my political uncle, he's not blood uncle. He was married to my blood aunt. He died of cancer, prostate. Sadly, he had just retired like about 4 years ago. He retired he retired, and then 4 years after, um, he passed away, which sucks. You didn't get to enjoy all that contribution. Now, I'm curious to know, is the spouse gets it? Yeah, but let's say there's still money left over. Can't the kids just claim it?
The Social Security money? I
Yeah,
don't I don't think so.
I know. That's the fucked up part. Oops, sorry, I said a bad word. That's the mess.
Ooh,
That's the messed up part. See, I want to mentalize people with this whole entire thing about contributing, and you know how they always explaining, you know, I'm anti, and you know me,
There.
Mr. Burns, I'm
Or do you not? Do you eat
anti-taxation
taco
for a
salad?
lot of things.
Do you eat the lettuce that's in there?
You know, I'm anti-tax for a lot of things, but
Sister.
I'm all for to contribute as well, but in return that somebody gets that money, because just the spouse. And what if the spouse dies 4 years afterwards? Like my aunt, she passes away 4 years from now. What happened to all that money? Goes to the pockets of the government, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's good business. But anyway, I don't want to get into that. But yeah,
What happened, Phoenix? I'm sorry.
I said, "Oh, I am here. I thought I dropped down because I saw you by yourself."
Oh, you're here.
But I asked the ladies to come, you know, Yolanda and VJ and Renee
Oh,
to
thank
come.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
But like I said, you know,
There she is. There she is.
Mr. Burns, like I said,
Yeah.
it's sad. Oh, Brit family fun, yay! You know, it's sad that these kind of situation is that, you know, they're always complaining about that there's no money, but you know, and then they want you to, then you're forced. Well, you're not forced, but then what? Like what you said, these life insurance and insurance here and insurance. Oh, we give you this, we give you that. Join us, join us. You know, you want to contribute even more on top of what I already contribute to the government.
That's a very interesting point. Okay.
Because
Very
look what
interesting
happened to
point.
your mom. Look what happened to your mom. She
Yeah.
passed away, and you get $400.
Yeah.
Big money. Big money. Listen, I know that she's been contributing to this policy from anywhere from 1970 to 1972, all the way to the time of her passing, which was 2016. How many years of that? How many years of contributing is that? I don't know what amount the policy was. If it was a whole life, it could have been 50 grand. It could have been 800 grand. I don't know what the policy was, but $400, really?
Let's put it this way. I was making the math the other day on my Roth IRA, and I said, "Wow, if I contribute $20 per week, that's $80 per week per month, and then let's say the next 15 years, just constantly contributing consistently on the Roth IRA, plus the gains of what it gains on the stocks and whatever it is. Boy, oh boy, there's a lot of money that I would not imagine even saving in a bank account. Yet alone, imagine what your mom was contributing to that insurance company and what they were profiting in her investment. Because insurance companies just don't keep the money in a
Of
in a
course
little
not.
safe.
Of course not.
They're circulating that money in the market, whether it's in
Absolutely.
bonds, whether it's in stocks, whether it's in what is it called, hedge funds, investment bank, mutual funds. Who God knows what they're doing with that money, and they're making a huge profit out of it. That's why.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go with the word that Mr. Burns said. This is not financial advice, but you people do whatever you want with your money. You know, me personally, I will never put my money in an insurance company. And even though I like I was researching a little bit on that life term that you said. It sounds good, but I'm still not convinced. It sounds good
What do
for
you
the
mean?
moment. You see, like, let's say now I'm a truck driver. God
Yeah.
forbid I crash and I get killed. My wife doesn't get shit because, well,
Yeah.
again, I said that word. My wife doesn't get squat, you know, and then here we are.
Right.
My wife has to deal with a funeral, the recovery, whatever it is, the expenses, which I don't have. Now, a lifetime insurance will probably help a lot because now she has something to back up and she doesn't have to pay all this debt.
Yeah, absolutely. They could bury you. With that money, they could bury you. Now you got to take into consideration also the time it takes for you to receive that money and whether or not they're going to pay it, because that's another thing.
That
Okay.
there you,
Do it.
That's why I want to get at. Are they gonna? I mean, I'm dead. I don't know if listen. There's a saying in Spanish.
You're already gone. You ain't worrying about anything. You're gone.
Exactly.
So the insurance is for the survivors.
Yeah, are the survivors are gonna get it. And it's like what we have a saying in Spanish. We say, you know, that for every problem there's a solution. Now there's one problem that there's no solution, and that's called death. Once you're
Right.
dead, there's no solution to that.
You're all
You're
done.
dead. You're done.
So the professor wants to know why they wouldn't pay it. Well,
Oh my God.
once they get that money, they don't want to let it go. They look for any and all excuses not to have to give it up.
Well, Tara, think about it. I just finished saying it. They take your money and they reinvest it in the market, bonds, 10-year bonds, whatever it is, gold, silver, whatever. Something that they're getting a huge return by using. They don't keep that money. They don't keep that money in a big, huge piggy bank the size of a World Trade Center. No, that money just floats around. Whatever you give them floats around. And then they have this excuse of saying, oh, well, your mom died, she didn't know that the staircase had a loose wooden, what is it, plank, and she, slipped and fell and cracked her neck. We don't pay that. They'll come up with stupid excuses like that. Your husband was a truck driver. Oh man, there's a high risk of him getting into an accident. We don't cover that. Oh, but we
look here. All right, I'm gonna read this. Okay. Do insurance companies make profit? That's the question. How do insurance companies make a profit? Insurance companies earn a profit by charging their customers premiums for buying insurance policies. However, insurers also earn income by investing the premiums received in various products, including U.S. Treasuries and corporate bonds. You got that?
That's the clear question right there. It makes it more clear than ever.
So,
people just open
so now
their
here,
eyes.
if you come to me and you say, hey, I want some kind of financial backing in the event that something should happen to me, and I need my kids and my spouse to be okay. You want me to back you up? Okay, I'm going to hit you up with a series of questions. Okay, I want to know where you live. I want to know how dangerous it is where you live. What kind of car you drive? Do you have speeding tickets? How many? When was the last time you got one? What kind of extracurricular activities are you involved in? Do you like skydiving? Do you have a motorcycle? Do you drive a motorcycle in the city? There's so many questions I'm going to ask that are related to your habits. Were you ever?
You like skinny dipping in a pond in
Florida?
Yeah,
I want to know how risky a lifestyle. I want to know how risky a lifestyle you have, because that will let me know if I'm going to back you up financially in the event that you should pass away while this policy is in effect. I want to know what the probability is that you will pass away. If it's very low, yeah, I'll back you up. I'll insure you. If it's very low, if I think that you're going to outlive this policy, let's say it's a term policy. If I think you're going to outlive it, I absolutely will. I absolutely will back you up. I'll back you up 100%.
And you know what's crazy?
Because I know that the probability of you outliving that policy is extremely high. Extremely high. So sure, I got you. You feel at ease because of that sales pitch I gave you. You feel at ease. Now you know if something happens to you, your spouse or whoever you designate will get the money. Is it the beneficiary? Is it $500,000? Is it $1 million? They're going to get it. Tax free. But again, What is the probability of you passing away during that policy? I have what's called actuaries. They're going to crunch the numbers. They're going to work on all of that. They're going to let me know, hey, you know, Tony T's lifestyle, well, yeah, it's not that bad. I mean, the probability of him being gone during this policy is slim to none. I'm making that phone call. AT, we got you, man. $500,000? Well, sure, no problem. All I need is $100 a month from you. That's $1,200 a year. That's $1,200 a year that he's not investing, that he's not getting a return from, that my company is getting a return from. And the thing is that here's the beautiful part about it. Tony's not my only customer.
Ooh.
I got
You got
maybe
50 to 100.
I got 50 to 100,000 Tonys. So you take that $1,200 and multiply that by 50,000. How much is that?
Oh, start
So when my company gets a return, it ain't gonna be no $1,000 for the year. No, it's gonna be hundreds of thousands, millions. So every time a Tony comes up and he pops up and says, hey, you know, I'm really thinking about, okay, I'm going to give him the whole, or if Tony doesn't come to me, I'll go to Tony. Tony, are you insured? Oh, man, do you know what? Oh, listen, I don't know if you heard, but the world is ending within the next 5 years. Do you have enough money to pass on to you? I mean, if you're paying attention, say, well, what does it matter? Because my family's going to be gone anyway because the world is ending. But no. We don't want you to be that smart. We don't want you to be thinking like that. We want you to make sure that you just pay attention to what we're saying so that we want your money. Everybody wants your money. This is a consumer-based economy. 70% of this economy is based on consumption. Everybody's in your pocket. They want your money.
Shit.
They want your money so bad, they're willing to spend $400 billion a year just so that companies can make up commercials to convince you, hey,
I'm putting my hands inside my pocket. I can't find Trump or Elon or Biden.
Just listen, just buy this, buy that. Just buy it. Just buy. Listen. I may sound like I'm criticizing our system and whatnot, but the truth of the matter is, I profit off of this type of economy. I profit off of it. Hey, Estrella, I'm doing well.
The stadium is called Globe Life Field. Do you know how much money they paid for that?
Yeah.
With your money?
Yeah, listen. This is what I consume. The Professor soap. I'm on that thing. I'm on that thing. Yeah.
Give him a good whiff of that.
Let me tell you something. My money represents my power. Everybody's money represents their power. That paycheck you get, you're getting a transfer of power into your hands. That's power that's being transferred to you. How you decide to transfer that power, it's everybody's individual business.
Yep.
Okay. Now, I have an incredible appreciation for the relationship that I have with the professor. Incredible. As a result, I want to transfer my power toward the professor. I purchase her soap.
You're transferring that power that you have to her.
Yes. Yes. It's a voluntary act. I don't have to transfer that power to the professor. I could just go to any supermarket and transfer that power to a corporation that don't give a damn about me. I
Like
can do that.
Dove,
Yeah,
like
Irish Spring, whatever.
Irish Spring. Wow. Today I was watching a video and it was incredible how um this guy was talking about perfumes
Yeah,
of famous people and which perfume Michael Jackson liked, Marlon Brando, Elvis Presley. And it's funny because he had a bottle of Old Spice, and my dad used to love Old Spice. It was like his favorite. It was his favorite aftershave perfume. And I, what's funny though? I love that smell. It was so refreshing. And he had the same bottle, but guess what? Then he shows the modern type bottle, which is in a plastic bottle. It has to be plastic because it didn't sound like glass. I'm gonna check it out when I go to Walmart. But that the original bottle, you remember with the little gray cap, the little gray cover on the top that used to snap it on, snap it back on.
yeah.
He had that bottle, and it was like I was just looking at it. I was like, and just having a freaking deja vu of my dad shaving and putting that in his face and smelling. And it's so funny because like the product, he said the product in the original is more less potent than the new one, but he said maybe because it has degraded or whatever. But we never know because the ingredients always change. Like look at the way food was back then to like the way it is now. You know,
Thank you, Source. Thank you for that compliment. Thank you.
and it's crazy because you know
Mhm.
when it comes to consumption, you know, how many men from my dad's time stopped using Old Spice because he doesn't use it no more. That's the sad part. He
Well,
stopped using it. So you stop giving power to somebody, but the company still exists. You know, it's like it's still there, it's still standing. Maybe because my father doesn't like the ingredients or the smell, it has changed, it's more robust, whatever it is. But I gotta go check it out if it still smells the same.
yeah, yeah. Check it out. And
You know
like
what?
I'm saying,
You know what other product we used to use when I was a kid, 5 years old and 6 years old? Irish Spring soap. Yo, I can never ever forget that smell. And I stopped using it. But the funny thing is that now they sell gels, now they sell shower gels, but they still sell the original soap. And the original soap still has that Irish Spring smell, which is crazy. It hasn't changed. Now, is it the same ingredients are they using? Are they using different synthetic components on the ingredient? We never know. The smell is
hard
still
to say.
there.
Hard to say.
Yeah. Now all these soap companies and lotion company like Nivea, whatever they call it,
Yeah,
Palmolive.
Nivea.
Remember Palmolive?
Yeah, Palmolive is still around. Yeah.
Palmolive. Now, it's crazy because back then I feel like those things were more natural. Now, I mean, I don't use Palmolive, but I would like to see if it has the same results as it was before because I don't think it would be because they over the years they've changed so much these ingredients from being simplistic to more complex with these weird chemicals like they have these weird names on these chemicals that are so long I'm like I can't even freaking pronounce them. The funny thing is, does it work the same? does it smell the same? I mean, the smell probably they have it on lock, but does it do the same thing that it used to before? Me personally, I think to this day, when my grandmother made that soap out of pork lard, I think that was the best soap in the. For me, it kept my skin smooth for like a whole week. Like I would shower and shower like twice or three times, and it will make my skin feel so smooth for like a long period of time. Even with, you know how Dominican Republic is. It's like, it's hot in summertime and you're sweating, but the hydration that your skin had was insane. Like I never had that kind of soap. My grandmother made that soap, and I was like, and it's funny because it was just three simple ingredients: lard, glycerin, and the perfume oil, rose or whatever it was. I think she did with one with rose, and I think the other one was with lavender oil. It was oils that she mixed.
Oils. Yeah.
So, damn, the Terminator just came out.
You already know.
Oh shit!
I got robotic.
We got
The
those
bling is back.
sunglasses.
Professor, the bling is back.
Oh,
I had to go get it.
The bling is back. Yeah, I can't see it that much because it's small on the screen.
I'm here.
Guys don't matter.
Okay.
Huh?
I'm here. I'm making dinner.
Oh, that's
Okay.
okay.
Look what I got. Look what I got, Phoenix.
Let me see.
Came through with the spinner and all that.
I didn't even know you even had
He
a
got the
spinner.
spinner.
I got the spinner, y'all. Look. Hold on. Look. I took these off so I can see a little better, but
Hold on.
let me showcase. Oh! Oh! I got the spinner, y'all.
Spinning on them.
Trying to tell you.
Hey,
Now,
the
see-
source. Yolanda must have shared this out. Did you, sister?
Share it out.
I can't see no comments, but I'll be watching the replay.
You already know.
You could
I'm
put the
making
comments
taco
on the
salad,
side.
y'all.
You could put the comments on the side. Oh, Tara Holmes is writing something right now. I can't see. I don't think I have ever tried it. Brit
Look, I don't never know where to look when I'm on StreamYard. I'll be like this, all in.
The bling is
I don't
back.
know where to look.
Sideways and whatnot.
Yeah, I be like, yeah, I don't know where to look.
Now,
Oh, yeah,
we mentioned the different soaps. Now, these are corporations. I have no connections with these corporations. I don't know the shareholders. I don't know the CEOs.
Yeah, Tara
I
Holmes
don't know
wrote
any of that.
that.
I do know the professor. I established a relationship with the professor. She's making soap, and if I'm gonna buy soap, I'm gonna buy it from the professor.
Damn, you whiffing that soap really good in there.
Listen,
Watch out.
you have no idea. This is like a security blanket for me right now. I keep a bar of soap right next to my head when I go to sleep. I wake up sniffing it. Yeah, that's my thing, man. But see, again, once you pay off all your obligations, your rent, your bills, all that stuff, once you pay that and you have some money left over, and on a previous video, I used the wrong term for that leftover money. It's not, I think I used the term residual income because I got ahead of myself and I was talking about dividend stocks. That money is residual income, but no, the money that's left over. Hi, Erica. The money that's left over, that money, I see that money like they're my employees. Every dollar that's left over,
Oh, yeah.
every dollar, that's an employee of mine. That's how I perceive it. That's an employee. I want to put as much of those employees to work for me. So that's when I go ahead and go into the portfolio and I purchase more stocks. Now the stocks that the vast majority of the stocks that are in my portfolio, or at least one of my portfolios, are dividend yielding stocks.
Yeah.
So
Definitely have to go with that route.
So those companies are every 3 months. Some a select few will do it monthly, but for the most part, most of the companies pay out every 3 months, and every 3 months I have newer and more employees to work for me. That's what I got. And the more employees I create,
The more they're
the
going to be
larger the portfolio gets.
Yep, that's true.
And here's something very important. I want everybody to keep this in mind. This phrase I got from Warren Buffett. It's not timing the market. It's time in the market that increases your wealth. I'm going to repeat that because that's the distinction between long-term investing and short-term investing.
Yeah.
When you're investing long-term, it's not about timing the market, not about when you buy and sell, because you're timing everything. You're trying to get everything at the lowest price to buy and everything at the highest price to sell. That's not what helps you build wealth. It's time in the market. And it's time in the market.
Time in the market, yeah.
The time you spend. It's boring. It's extremely boring. Okay? Long-term investing is boring because when you buy, again, this is not financial advice, but when you're buying long-term, you've got a horizon of 5, 20, 50-year horizon when purchasing a stock. And when you purchase a stock, again, shout out to Warren Buffett for this. When you buy stock, you should think that you're buying a company. So you should approach it as if you're buying a company. So if you're buying a company, there are considerations that you're going to take that you won't take if you're a short-term investor, or if you're dealing with options, or if you're just trading.
I was going to say that. Options, yeah.
If you're trading, you're not concerned with whether the company that you're buying stock from is good or not. You're concerned about price movement. You're concerned about volatility. Volatility impacts, or it's a reflection of, price movement. Hey, Brandon. That is volatility is the fear index. That's what it's known as. The volatility is known as the fear index. Usually you see it in what's called the VIX. VIX. And it's the fear index. There's a lot more fear when a price is moving up and down a lot, as opposed to when it's just a little bit here, a little lower there, throughout the course of a long period of time. Nobody's scared about that. But when a price shoots up and then all of a sudden it drops and then it shoots up again and then it drops, it sends a signal of instability. And that creates fear. But that's where the profit is made for people who are very active and they trade instead of investing long term. When you invest long term, you want to lock into a company that you feel has an excellent foundation, that will last, that will survive economic storms, economic downturns. Take Coca-Cola, for example. How long has Coca-Cola been around? Since the 1860s or something like that? Let me look. Let me check.
It's been around that time, yeah. 18 something. And there was another company that I found another company that was really old. And I was like, wow. And this company is
How long have never mind. I can't activate that. I can't activate it that way. How long? I'm gonna ask how long.
Yeah, I'm back. Yeah, somebody was calling.
Cola been around. Here we go. 138 years. Okay, 138 years. Now this is an example of what I'm talking about. If this company has been around 138 years, introduced on May 1886 in Atlanta, Georgia, by Dr. John S. Pemberton, a pharmacist, created the syrup for the drink, which was then mixed with carbonated water at Jacob's Pharmacy. There you go. So now, just to get into the type of mindset that I'm talking about. All right, Professor, thanks for coming and visiting.
Okay, have a good one.
So now, if you're a long-term investor, here's something to consider. This company has been around 138 years now, 1886. Now go back. Go back to 1886. What kind of stuff has happened since 1886 up until today? Plenty of stuff. 1886, the Spanish-American War, World War I, World War II, Vietnam, the Korean War, the stock market crash of 1929, the Great Depression. Coca-Cola's still here.
Yep.
Coca-Cola's still here. Something to consider if you're looking into investing into a company, like Warren Buffett said, but you're buying the company. Don't think of it as you're buying shares or buying stock. Think of it
as buying the company. Yeah. Yep, that's right. And then you mentioned something about is boring. I don't know, man. Long-term investment, I do both. And I find it very interesting, the long-term investment. You know why? Because like what you said, you mentioned Coca-Cola, but funny thing is that, I bumped into a company that was even more older than Coca-Cola, and it's still around, and it's in the market. I forgot the name of it, man. And I didn't buy the share, but I was like, let me mark it. Let me see if I got it but I can, because if I get out of here, but I found companies that are around the time of Coca-Cola and even older than Coca-Cola. And I was shocked because, I thought that Coca-Cola was the oldest company in the entire country. But no, there's other companies out there that are at the same age or even older than Coca-Cola. Will I invest in it? Yeah, I will invest in it because they were given a dividend. They were given some dividend on it. I don't know how much was the percent. It was not a lot. But yeah, they were given a dividend. As a matter of fact, even companies that are fairly new, like Garmin, Pfizer's, they give dividend returns, and they already have passed, like what you said, several economic bubbles, and those are the ones that you want to look out for. I mean, that's my advice. That's your advice to me that you gave me. And yeah, they're still around here. Even the one that happened in 2006. What is SFL was around from that time, or was it older?
Nah, you see that? You see that ticker symbol I just put up?
Bud, yeah.
That's been around since 1366.
You see, and it's in the market right now.
I'm gonna check.
It has to check in Robinhood or in
We're gonna check on Yahoo.
and Yahoo. Yeah, I can't get out because if I get out, it will disconnect me.
I'm gonna put in the ticker symbol for Bud.
Not the bud that you smoke.
No, not that one.
Not the herbal essence. Talk about that. I just mentioned herbal essence. Do they still make shampoo? Because I remember when I was a kid, they used to make the shampoo.
Oh, look, it's Anheuser-Busch.
What about the newer ones like the marijuana, the booming marijuana on the stock market?
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about the booming marijuana. Okay. Here's what psyched a lot of people out. The fact that it was made legal in different levels in different states. A lot of people got very excited and say, "This is it. This has to be a place to invest." However, I was listening to a friend of mine who moved to Canada. He and I were in the financial industry together, and he moved to Canada, and we were having a conversations, and I brought up and he made a fascinating point. And because of the point that he made, I decided not to invest in marijuana. Yes, marijuana is going to become more available in larger quantities. The problem is that new consumers are not going to grow along with it.
Yeah.
So you're basically going to have a flooding or an availability of something that's going to incorporate new expenses, let's just say.
I just think that it's fairly new. Companies, all cannabis companies are fairly new. We're talking about a span of 10 years now, maybe tops.
But in those 10 years, there's not an increase of consumption of marijuana in order for it to translate into profit for all these new companies.
Nor investment either. You don't have ganja farmers getting monetary investment from companies saying, listen, like Pfizer, they want to, hey, look, we see that your product is one of the best, herbal essence. We want to invest because your product has a very high THC, CBD, whatever it is, blasey, 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 blasey.
Where you think they hemp though?
What?
Where you think they get their hemp for the hemp products though?
They grow it themselves.
No, absolutely. But
they're not gonna go to an independent small farmer. They're gonna grow it themselves. As a matter of fact, I'll give you a hint of what happened to me. This is an experience that true life experience that happened to me in Spain. Me and my friend were driving down and we're driving, and we're like, wait a second, we're going through a field, and we're like, and this road was like, it was, it wasn't gated. We just kept on driving, and we ended up in this big, massive field. But we were looking and looking, and we're like, wait a second, does that look what we think it is? I'm like, and we looked at each other, and we're like, no, it wasn't marijuana.
Oh.
And all of a sudden, we were like, we stopped, and we were like, Mary, Mother of God, we are in a poppy seed field. Holy Moses, all the heroin that we can smoke out of this motherfucker. Sorry. And it only took us 5 minutes to be looking at it, and we were encountered by security, and they told us, what are we doing here? And I'm like, well, we just drove around. Well, you can't be around here, you can't stop, keep it rolling. And we left. But my friend was smart enough and said, you know what, I got a plan. I'm like, don't get me in. I was like, don't get me in trouble. He's like, we're gonna come back around here, but I'm gonna come back by myself. The dude parked the car like about 10 miles away, took a bicycle, drove his bike into the road where all these poppy seeds were, deflated the tires, and he went into the field and grabbed a couple of the poppy seeds. He cut them off and took it with him. He hid them, and the security guys came right away. I don't know if they searched him. All I know is that he showed up at his house, and he called me. He's like, "Listen, I got a surprise for you." And when he showed me what it was, I'm like, "Dude, do you know that you could have gotten arrested for that? Do you know that field is probably owned by a pharmaceutical company, and you by stealing that, you could go to jail."
To the feds.
Well, he dried them out. He dried out the poppy seeds, and he dried them out, and he got seeds out of it, and he planted it himself in his house. And I was like, bro, if the cop comes and they see these poppy seeds, they're gonna question you where you got these seeds, where you got the plant, because this is not a plant that just grows, out of the wild. But yeah, and you know what? And it's crazy because I don't want to say that he made he made tea out of the milk, or the, what is it called, the resin that will come out
Yeah,
of it.
the poppy. Yeah, the poppy. Yeah.
Yeah, he will make tea out of it. I'm not gonna say what happened, but hey, that's one of the best teas in my entire life. Oh, it will have you relax. It will have you, you know, um. Hey, if you want to go to sleep real quick, just make a poppy seed tea, man, out of the resin.
There's a
And
flower. There's a flower in Puerto Rico. They call that flower the bell, la campana.
oh my God, I think is it this? If, all right, go ahead, keep on saying. I'm gonna tell you one about in Spain too.
They make a tea out of that, and that thing will have you in another world, bro.
Psychedelic.
No, it's not psychedelic, but it is very calming.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. There's in Spain. And this was in a village I was at. Um, I was playing around. Well, how you call these? What is it like? What is the type of plant that grows like the beans that they crawl on the? They crawl up on the walls, and what we call those?
Sophia.
What's the name of the plants that that they just grow and they keep on? They're not a tree. They
Like
don't have.
Taco Bell sauce.
A vine.
Yeah, a vine. Yeah.
You want?
Well, there was this plant that was a
Sorry.
huge vine, and I looked at the flower. It was dry. Some of the flowers were dry, and parts of the tree can cause death. Belladonna here. Um, this vine, the flower, when it dried out, it had these little seeds that were like what you said. Era como una campana. It was like a bell,
Right.
and it made like a shaker sound. It was very small, but it had the shaker sound. And one of the guys from the village said, if I was you, I wouldn't touch that too much if you have greasy hands. I'm like, why? He's like, because if you have greasy hands or oily hands and that mixes up with the seeds, or if you crush it with the seeds, you're going to go into a world of psychedelics. I'm like, what? That caught my curiosity. And I was like, man, is it toxic? He was like, nobody has died out of it, but they have gotten into a deep ass trance where they are, and I was like,
They
so I
start
was,
seeing cat creatures or something like that.
well, the thing is that then I started researching about the history about this plant. I can't remember the name of the plant. It's in Spanish, but, um, and actually, when we hear about all this, back in the days of the time when, everybody used to say about witches in Europe, witchcraft and stuff like that. In reality, the witches were like what we call in our culture, in Dominican culture, the curanderas. You know, they'll use bones, marrow bones, and this and that. The potions. So I found out that they would use this plant to do potions and stuff, but you will go into a deep trance. And some of the things that they will use it to was that they will use oil, crush it in oil, and then the grimy oil with the crushed seeds, they'll put it in the spots where you have your joints. Let's say your elbow, um, the knuckles. If you put it on your knuckles, and it will absorb into your body, and then you will be intoxicated. Of course, you will be having psychedelic experiences and shit.
Tony, can you say
Yeah,
the Dominican name again?
curanderas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like witch doctors, or we call them witch doctors. Which, um, I'll tell you one thing. There was a guy that my sister, she caught the shingles,
Hmm.
and it was really bad for her because the shingles were in her face. I mean, she had
Oh,
big water. It was like I don't know. It looked like when you get burned and you get
blister.
blisters.
Mm-hmm.
Her shingles were was coming from the neck towards the cheek, and
Gee.
she had it through the nose. It was really bad for her. And it was all blisters.
It
And
sound bad.
at one point there was a neighbor of ours that said, "I can cure that. I know how to cure shingles."
Wow.
I mean, I don't know. They say that shingles will, when you get it, it has a period of time that it will go. You will have it. You will be in pain. Then it dries out. I mean, he took my little sister and then he did some hocus pocus, and my mother cannot be in the room, whatever it was. And my mother asked her, did he did anything that, you know,
Inappropriate.
yeah. And she said no. All he did was he did say, well, I can't tell you because he did some things with like fire, like he lit up some things, and then he grabbed like some lotion or something and started rubbing in her face, which he said do not bathe her in the next 3 days or something like that.
Yeah.
And it happened so that it cured her. It's like it started to dry out. Like it didn't go further out. And after the third day, it started to dry out. I don't know if that's something that the shingle has, I caught the shingle twice, and I lasted more than 3 days with that. And it was, and I had to go to the doctor and get some antibiotics or something antiviral, whatever it was, and um, it helped. I never had no witch doctor or whatever it was doing these kind of things, but my little sister said, yeah, he did like some hocus pocus. He did like a pot thing, and then he lit some stuff around, and he had me in the circle.
Oh my
And I
God.
can't tell you no more because he said if I tell you all this
Won't
secret
work.
thing, it won't work no more. Like he will lose the power of it, something like that. My grandfather um had a hocus pocus that was, and all this stuff that goes with witch doctors, what we call witch doctors, it's passed on through generations. So it's like it goes, and that generation, that person cannot tell somebody unless he decides to know that he can do it. My grandfather used to cure warts. These warts that come out on your fingers and your um not like ojo pecado. How you say that in
Sorry.
it's warts, right? That's how you say it.
Yeah,
Or
warts.
yeah, the ones that are very painful, and they come out on your fingers and your toes, in your arms. Sometimes they're very painful. Well, I remember in Dominican Republic I started to get these warts, and he said, do you have grain salt, like not ground salt, like a stone, like a rock? And my mother said, yeah. He goes, I can cure that. And he started doing this hocus pocus with me in the room, separate from everybody. And he was saying some stupid prayers I couldn't understand. He was saying it very low, and then he would do cross symbols.
¡Háblame la patraca!
Yeah, and sure enough, they started to dry out. These warts started to dry out in a couple of weeks. I never, ever since then, I never had warts ever in my life after when he did it. And I had three of them. I used to get them all the time on my fingers, on my hand fingers, like on my fingers and my toe and my toes. They were bad. And ever since he did that hocus pocus, I never got them ever again. What I could remember what he was doing, he was saying some prayers, and he was rubbing the salt on top of all the warts that I had. And he said, and he took the salt, and I told him, well, what are you gonna do with the salt? He's like, I'll get rid of it myself, but you I can't tell you how I get rid of it.
He
And
puts it on his French fries.
I don't know what he does, but I hope he does something with it. I'll tell you this much: I never had no more warts in my life. Knock on wood.
Phoenix. Phoenix. Your mom. Where was she from? Where was your mom from?
Michoacan.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
So they didn't work with that Michoacan. Okay.
No, no, no. That what they call ojo.
Yeah.
but they got curanderos in Mexico.
They got them in Haiti. That's what they was killing their slave masters with. They was poisoning their food with the herbs.
Well, they knew what plants were poisonous. That's why.
Yes, they did. Yeah, I ain't know y'all was connected like that. I
Yeah.
thought it was only Haiti. So when you was saying, the Dominican, they right next door. I ain't know that.
Well, my sadly enough, all this stuff is died out. All these traditional medicine.
I don't think it
I
all.
say, I say it's traditional because my grandfather never. I asked my mom, did he ever pass on that thing that he did with the warts? And my mother said no. He said he never told you about it. He said no. My grandmother knew some remedy potions that she used to do, and they were pretty good. But they're typical, like the ones for the common cold or flu, whatever it was. Um, which is onion, honey, and garlic. and I mean, there still are. My parents know a lot of remedies, like when it comes to tea, or if you take the mango leaves and you do this and you do that, that's good for this, that's good for that. I don't say that those are the hocus pocus type of thing, where they go into a separate room with you and then they do that whole magical thing, whatever it is.
Uh,
This is more of a, what is it called? That stuff that they call these doctors that do natural medicine,
holistic.
holistic. Yeah.
Uh,
Somebody put a link there.
but did you see where they kept killing them people, killing them holistic doctors around COVID?
Well, there's a lot of doctors that they killing, especially the one that Noopsy mentioned, Dr. Sebi, the
I
doctor, the,
him
the doctor that had a cure for AIDS and cancer.
and diabetes and herpes and all that.
I mean, think about it. Before the Spaniards came in, the natives didn't get sick of anything because once somebody used to get sick in that time, they already knew the remedy what to use. And when the Spaniards came with the measles, the mumps, the chicken pox, they didn't know how to handle that stuff because they didn't have those kind of diseases. Do you think they really died? Leah, do you really think that they brought diseases with them that the natives couldn't handle? I don't think they did. I mean, they probably had all kinds of stuff to.
Yeah, they did. They put it in their blankets and stuff.
I
They're doing
mean,
it now.
Dr. Sebi, yeah. I don't know, but other than that, man, we lost track.
But it was all linked together somehow, some way, and it was interesting.
Um, we went from insurance
We modernized ancient medicines.
to medicine.
Yeah, that's too
That's what
smart,
happens on my lives.
right? 'Cause I got the attention span of a, I don't know what, whatever's smaller than an ant.
Un meme. The attention span of a meme.
You want to know something?
I was making
When
taco
I was living
salad.
when I was living in Dominican Republic, I don't know if I all of a sudden started to get these. I used to call them volcanic cysts or volcanic pimples. I mean, they were so huge; they were like the size of. Sometimes I'll get these, I don't know, pimples that were like the size of baseball in my
Damn.
leg, in my back, and
Those are pimples.
I'm eating.
Sorry.
yep. Let me stop.
No, you
Yeah.
can go, but I'm
Yes,
about
Brandon. Come on up, Brandon.
I'm
It
gonna
You don't
was
have
drop
to.
good.
down, okay?
No. You don't
All
have to
right.
drop. You don't have to drop.
Okay.
All I could tell you is that when I moved back to the States, I stopped having those damn things. And I mean, we're talking about back in the 80s, beginning of the 90s when I moved back to the United States. But funny thing is that every time I'll go to the United States, like when I came in vacation, when I came to spend the summertime in New York, I stopped having them while I was in New York. But when I went back to Dominican Republic, I started getting them again. And it was just annoying as it was very annoying.
Maybe that
And
was your body purging toxins out of your system.
Yeah, Yep.
I don't know. Maybe bacteria. Yeah, like what you're saying. Like
because when she went to Dominican Republic, the food supply uh didn't have anywhere near the type of chemical exposure that they do here.
well, maybe even could have been that maybe when I was here, I was eating food that was already, with antibiotics, like the meat, the chicken, anything that's meat product has antibiotics. And then in
Yeah, because
the Dominican Republic, there's no antibiotics in the meat back then.
well, not
You
just
know,
antibiotics, a series of other chemicals too.
What about like the natural antibiotic though?
Garlic is a natural antibiotic.
yeah.
So is rotten oranges.
Yep.
I was penicillin all day long as moldy oranges.
There you
I'll
go.
tell you one thing. My grandmother, she used to eat a garlic teeth. Well,
Yes, we want company, Brandon.
a whole garlic, not a whole garlic. That's what you call it, a teeth, un diente de ajo.
Right. Hey, Brandon.
And she
Hey
would
guys.
chew on this. She would chew on this for the entire morning. My God, my grandmother had a garlic odor, man, that you could smell from like 2 rooms down the hallway. I was like, "Damn, Grandma, you smell like a walking garlic."
I go that
But
garlic lady.
but I'm guessing that just that one piece of garlic was just like strong enough for to kill all the bacteria and stuff that she had in her body.
Kill everything.
You
She
should,
out
while y'all on the road, if y'all get sick, y'all eat that piece of garlic. I'm telling you. My mommy can do it.
I think
What
the
type of
garlic works by keeping people away from the smell.
that's why
Birth control garlic.
that's why Hollywood made it for the vampires, that it was like they can't stand the garlic, they'll die. Draculas
Yeah,
would die.
exactly. I know when I have too much
Brandon.
garlic, everybody stays away from me. So
My life would not be worthwhile if I didn't show off my nuts.
oh,
These nuts.
deluxe nuts.
These nuts. I got cashews, man.
I would show you my balls, but I only got one in here, and my other one's on the floor. So,
Hey,
show you my balls. You show me your nuts.
I got some cashews.
No hate.
Hey, Burns, tell them what the actual cashew seeds come from. It's a fruit,
And the cashew's on top.
and the cashew's on top, and it's a fruit. It's actually a fruit that is very tasty. It's like the texture. Oh man, cají. We call it in. We have an indigenous. It's an indigenous name that we have from the Taino Indians. We call it cahuil.
Cahuil.
Yeah.
Cahuil.
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 So what we will do is we'll eat the fruit, and the seed we'll put it to dry, which is actually the cashew nuts. So you have twice the edible power.
Bless you.
You have a fruit and the nuts.
My goodness.
You got the fruit and the nuts.
Brandon.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, excuse, sorry.
Are you done? I made taco salad, but I used kale instead of lettuce.
Kale's good. Kale's like a super green for you.
Yeah, kale, I got my sister eating kale.
Here you go, y'all.
me see.
Look at this.
Oh, sorry about that. What you got there?
A big old flat croissant.
What is it?
A big croissant.
Oh, croissant.
You know, like a veggie pizza.
Croissant.
Croissant.
I got
It's croissant.
Look on the screen.
What?
That's cahuil. That's the
Cahuil.
catchy. Cahuil.
Cahuil. I'm gonna name my dog that.
Yeah, call him cahuil.
Show them the fruit, how it looks like.
So if I
The
call a
pinkish
guy Kafui, that means he's fruity.
Yep, that he's nuts.
I must be allergic because I'm on a sneezing fit. Sorry, guys.
Go eat some garlic. You want
Check it out, y'all.
Want a bite of that croissant on the stove? No. You can take them to work tomorrow. It's really good. I'm not working tomorrow.
There you go. There it is.
Oh,
Cashew.
That's the
Wow.
cashew fruit.
It looks
That's
like
the
a
fruit.
pear.
when
So
I
you get
first
to eat
got
the-
on. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. When I
Oh,
first
my
got on, you
goodness.
guys are talking about the belladonna flower plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they
Tony
call
wants
it
to
in
leave.
Florida?
In Florida, it's a belladonna. It's a flower. It grows upside down on trees almost. It looks like a bell.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
And yeah, but from what I understand, there's certain if you don't do it right, it can kill you if you don't brew it right.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, because it's intoxicating.
How about the?
Yeah. No,
Okay,
I heard about it when I was a teenager, and I picked flowers from my neighbor who had a tree growing, and I had an old hippie guy that said, "Don't mess with that if you don't know what you're doing," and he says you could die if you don't. And I said, "Oh, okay, I'll take your word for it, old man." You know?
Brandon, maybe he didn't want you to discover the good, the benefits of belladonna flower.
Yeah. Huh. Mm. But I think if you research or if you, I know you guys have moved on since then. So
No, go ahead.
You can say it. I would like
no,
to
I
hear
was gonna say, Mr. Burns, if you Google the belladonna, that's probably Tony will be able to tell just by looking at the pictures. You know, if that's what the same thing he was talking about.
Well, there was a guy that told me if you crush it on olive oil, the seed.
The seeds, yeah. I know
Which
that
is
like the petals are deadly. There's most other parts of the plant are deadly.
Yeah, that one, the one with the yellow, right next to it.
I
Yep,
gotta look.
a yellow little bell.
Hey, can you
They grow
can you
upside
look up
down
the duck
over.
plant?
Which one?
It's just called a duck plant.
Duck plant?
Duck plant.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
When he brought up Dr. Sabi earlier, that's the thing that they give them over there, and they throw up like 3 times when they eat it. You found some. Oh,
Have you guys saw that movie? Yep,
Which
that's
one?
it right there.
see the one
Soylent
with
Green?
the third one where she's holding it in the hand?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yup.
no, I've never seen
Flower
that before.
detox. It's a detox, but it's you puke. And I know you probably do the other end too.
Yeah, I've never seen that before. But I guess that's some Texas stuff.
No, that's from Brazil.
Oh, okay.
Honduras is in Brazil, right?
No, Honduras is far away.
BJ with the funny play on words.
Right there, right there. Those flowers that you got, those yellow flowers with
Those are the yellow
they're
ones
upside
right there.
down. The ones you got highlighted.
You did say that.
All right,
That's
let me
what
tell
we
you about.
call,
What do you
we
call it?
call it we call it the belladonna, but they're also known as the devil's trumpet. Is that what that says? It says dot dot dot.
Yeah.
Well,
double
Devil-
trumpet.
So bad.
Well, you create a powder out of that, and it's called the devil's breath.
Yeah.
Now, what happens with the devil's breath is, and you have to be extremely careful with that because, yeah, you will unalive somebody with a very small dosage. In Spain, there was a couple going around using the powder from this flower.
Yep.
I remember this story. Yeah.
Yeah, so they were using the powder from this flower, and they would put it on the paper. Before they put it on the paper, they would write an address as tiny as they possibly could.
Yeah.
So tiny that it would cause you to bring the paper closer to your face so that you can read it. And upon getting it closer to your face, you would inhale the powder. And once you inhale the powder, you're done.
Like
You're
gone or just briefly?
No. You're not unalive. You're not unalive. What happens is
You're in
You're-
trance.
you're in a trance. You're under the control of the person that knows that you inhaled that powder. You will do anything that they tell you to do, and you won't even remember the next day that you did any of it. So what they would do, very, very popular in Colombia. Very popular in Colombia. So what this couple would do is that either the male or the female will come up to you and say, "Do you know where this address is?" And you would grab the paper, and it'd be so small, you bring it close to your face, you ingest it, and then she would leave you, and her partner will come along, ask you some questions just to make sure that you're under the influence, and then they would tell you, "Let's go to your bank," and then they would have you withdraw money from your account and just hand it to them. And then the next day, the person would, hey, Tony, do you have your CB radio on?
No.
Okay. So then the next day, they go to their account to withdraw money, and it would say no funds. And they start figuring out. And then when they go to the bank to ask what happened to their money, you withdrew it. And they're like, "Huh? No, I didn't." "Yes, you did. You withdrew your money." And that was under the instructions of the person that knew that you were under the influence. Now, they did a documentary on it. I forget the name of the people of the group that did the documentary on it, but you can find it on YouTube. In Colombia, what women will do in Colombia is that they will put cotton in their nose, and they will put some on their upper lip, go up to one of the guys, in one of those bars, and they would try to entice the guy into having a good time. The guy would start making out with the girl, and he would be getting all of the stuff that she put on her upper lip. He'd be getting it in his mouth, And of course, she didn't get impacted because she kept cotton in her nose so she could inhale it. And the dude will wind up being under that trance.
Wow.
Now, there was a guy who was a part of the underworld in Colombia that was celebrating his brother-in-law's birthday, and they went to one of those bars, and he and the brother-in-law got intoxicated with the stuff, but the amount that the brother-in-law ingested caused him to go into. Thank you, Tracy's. Have a good night. So
Where
Hey,
you at?
Jason.
the brother-in-law ingested too much. Yeah, no, nature. The place is dark. You can't really see it. You stuff it up deep enough in your nose, you can't really see the cotton. It's just enough to bury it inside her nose. And the lights are dim. You got the red and blue light effect. You got the music blasting and all that stuff. You've been drinking,
Yeah.
so you're a little tipsy. So she spread some on her upper lip. They're making out. He don't know what's going on. Woo woo woo. And now he's caught. Well, so then the guy that was in the underworld,
Uh-huh.
he becomes conscious, and his apartment is completely
Wiped out.
wiped out. All his furniture's gone, and he had a safe where he stashed some money. That was open. Money was gone. Went down to the front desk, complaining. Where's my stuff? Where's my furniture? Where's everything? And the guy at the front desk is telling him, listen, what are you talking about? You came with a bunch of people and you got rid of all your stuff. What are you talking about? And that's when he realized that they used that because in Colombia they call it the devil's breath. Realized that was used on him and discovered that his brother-in-law was dead. Was unalive. Sorry, YouTube. That his brother was unalive because it doesn't take much to have somebody overdose on that stuff. And that's what happened. The brother-in-law overdosed and he passed away. And
nobody got in trouble.
huh?
And no.
No, nobody tells. Not the authorities, at least. But the survivor, he did find out through his connections. Needless to say that he got a hold of that whole, because it's a gang that was doing that. He got a hold of them and
That was the last one.
He made them disappear. But yeah, it's called in Colombia they call it the devil's breath.
He did what the guys used to do in Vietnam. No more boom boom mama san.
Right. No more boom boom with mama san. That's right. No boom boom long time. They're gone. They're done. Yeah, but the intelligence community does use that. You already know. The intelligence community was behind the creation of LSD. Hey, Queen.
What about that?
Huh?
What about
methamphetamine was created by the Japanese, so they could do.
What about the what, Phoenix?
the hip?
You broke up.
Yeah, I can't hear.
I said, what about the hypnotizing people?
Yeah, that's all. Well, the scopolamine. Well, yeah, LSD was used. It's a hypnotic, but it was used as a way of extracting the truth from people.
Oh, the truth serum.
It's kind of it was a drug that was experimented with to help with hypnotization, I guess you could say.
And the same thing goes with ecstasy. Ecstasy opens you wide open to say whatever you want.
Methadone was created during World War II with the Germans.
Yep.
All sorts of chemicals. They can
It would kill the pain.
they can alter your brain. You know.
Yeah. Well, but yeah, eventually that's what it does.
Even if it's a temporary effect, that's all that they're looking for. You know.
Well, the same thing goes with ecstasy. MDMA was created so-called for therapeutic purposes for psychologists and psychiatrists. In reality, that drug came from the intelligence department. Almost all those, all these drugs that were synthetically uppers and some downers, were created just for that, for interrogation, actually, to see if they were open up.
Or to enhance or to do something like that, like crystal meth, like you said, was created to make super soldiers, you know. And a lot of it was done by different governments to do exactly that, whether it's to interrogate somebody or to make a super soldier or you know, whatever, or even
Well, the
heroin was a major painkiller. You know what I mean? Designed in World War II. You know, you had morphine in World War II. You know, which, you know what, did it help a lot of people? Yeah. Did it hurt a lot of people? Yeah. You know, it's
still going on.
There's that little pathway between good and bad. You know what I mean? When you design something like that, you know, like the guy, you know, look at the guy that designed the nuclear bomb. He wasn't designing the nuclear bomb to be a bomb. You know what I mean? He was just a scientist, you know, trying to harness power and figure out a way to harness power. Once the military takes it over, it's like, oh, you know, we can use this as a weapon, you know?
It's funny that you say that when I think about these drugs like heroin to what we have today, the opioids, or what we call them.
Yeah.
They're getting stronger by the minute, man. From heroin to fentanyl. You got people doing contortionists.
Yeah.
All crooked in Kensington. You go to Kensington, you see some people that you be thinking like, how in the hell he's bent like that guy? Like his head is like touching almost his ankle. But not forward, backwards. Like the dude is leaning backwards and he's about to touch his head with his ankle. Like, how in the tarnation you get to that point?
Oh no.
Well, look, we had down in Miami, we had bath salts. It was a big thing.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And do you remember the guy eating the homeless guy's face?
Yeah, I did.
That's insane.
Demonic.
You know, they ended up shooting the guy, killing him. But
well, that's the only thing that they can do because, I mean, bath salt was considered like the next level of PCP.
Yeah, but back in the 70s, it was or 80s, it was the PCP where people were like superhuman on that shit. You know?
Let me ask you a question because when you probably are from my time. Yeah.
I was born in 76.
Yeah, but like, I know Florida was filled with a lot of electronic music. Dippies.
Yeah.
Is Dippies freaking PCP? Because Dippies are, you dip the cigarette in formaldehyde. Remember that?
Okay, that's a little bit different. I know what you're talking about.
I used to see that all the times in raves, man.
They used to down in South Florida because I used to smoke weed, and I smoked a joint one time that was dipped in something.
Formaldehyde?
That thing was laced.
I don't know. I
Well,
don't know what the fuck it was.
if it's dipped in formaldehyde, they call it wet.
They call
Wet.
it dippy. Wet.
They call it wet. They call it wet, and they call it dust.
All I know is
Well,
that the kids.
dust was also what they called angel dust or PCP. Was the same kind of slang.
Yeah,
But it gave the same, I don't know, whatever the fuck I had. When I described it to an old hippie guy that I knew,
yeah.
he was like, that's angel dust, man. You had some angel dust, man. The way that I described how I felt, how I couldn't talk to anybody. Everybody sounded like they were on that they were like Charlie Brown's teachers. Blah 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 blah.
Guys, take a
That's
look
what
at
it
this
sounded
channel.
like.
Take a look at this channel I'm highlighting, Tulu TV. Okay, I'm subscribed to Tulu. Now, Tulu can tell you personally about, because he was in the military and he got wounded. So he's a wounded war veteran.
Okay.
He can tell you about what happened to him when they used painkillers after his surgeries.
What war was he in?
He was out in Afghanistan, I think.
Okay.
So he can tell you about the impact that the opiates had on him.
Yeah.
And the struggle he had to get off it.
Well,
I can believe it, man.
remember the first.
My
Desert
dad was a
Storm?
civilian. I'm sorry. My father was a civilian, and he got prescribed opiates. It was when OxyContin was the miracle drug, you know, and
So
he got
bad.
addicted. It took a hard time for him to get off it, you know.
Yo, you remember the first Desert Storm when all those soldiers went out there that they used to give them a pill? They said, "Oh, take this pill because this is for the anti-gas." Well, if they shoot gas, put your mask and take the pill.
Yeah.
A lot of those soldiers that I met, those veterans from that time, they're having neurological complications now.
Yeah.
So what was worse, the gas that the Iraqis was going to launch on them, or the pill?
Do you want to die
Remember-
right now, or you want to die later?
Yeah, that's what I'm
That's-
saying. Like,
That's
because
where
the
it gets.
reason-
That gets. You know.
yeah, the reason why when they went out there, they were like, well, you know, Saddam Hussein used gas, you know, against the Kuwaitis, so we gotta, you know, you gotta wear this gas mask equipment, the whole thing with the gas mask or the gas suit, whatever it was. But you also have to take these pills, and like before they even got there, they were already taking these pills, and most of them have problems, neurological problems.
I don't know specifically what you're talking about, but I do know this. If you're given the chance, look, you're going into battle. They're going to hit you with this. This is an antidote against this. It's not tested, but it'll definitely keep you alive. You know, in that kind of situation, you're, you know,
Yeah, you're vulnerable.
you're vulnerable.
Whatever they tell you.
However, I believe that the American government should take care of those soldiers once they get back. And that's it, point blank. If we had to put experimental drugs into them or whatever, and now there's side effects, and they're having problems with the side effects, we should cover it, period, you know?
You know what war? All the soldiers came back celebrated as heroes, and it was only one war that they celebrated as heroes. After that, they just trashed all the vets after World War II. And the soldiers that went to World War II consider themselves real soldiers. They were like when Vietnam came through. Well, the Korean War was already, but when Vietnam came involved, the media, with the help of, let's say, with the help of the media, the government, and with the help of the media, they put the soldiers at a negative position. So you grew up in the 70s. I don't know how it was in Florida, but I grew up in Little Italy, and I'll tell you this much: the word bum was something that I grew up with, and then I would see these men.
Bum, B-U-M?
Yeah, bums. You're a
Bum.
bum.
Yeah.
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 So I grew up in this neighborhood near Little Italy, where around the block there was a methadone clinic, and
Yeah.
these bums, I'm gonna quote unquote put a quote on top. These bums
Yeah.
were shitting on themselves, peeing on themselves. They stink like crazy. And the funny thing is that right across where I live, there was a Volunteers of America where these men would go there. And I remember my dad taking me there, and I'm sitting there because my dad said, because they would get free food. They would give them sandwich, milk, chocolate bar,
Yeah.
whatever it was. So my dad, it's crazy, man. Now I think about it. My dad would take us in there, and I'll be sitting and I'll be looking at all these men, and some of them were like really really messed up. I remember
Yeah.
one guy that I used to see them around all the time. That one guy was the so-called bum. And then when I came back to visit, well, I left the United States after that, and then we lived in Dominican Republic. When I came back, there was less of them. There was lesser and less of them. Over the years,
Yeah.
up to the 90s, there was less of them around in the street. And
Yeah.
it hit me in my head after seeing movies of Vietnam, and then later on more movies of Vietnam, post Vietnam. I realized that all
Yeah.
those men were actually Vietnam vets.
Yeah.
It was disastrous what they did to them. And then the soldiers that
Yeah.
were from World War II, they were considered, we're soldiers. That was not a war that you fought. You didn't fight a real war. We did, And they would do the same thing to the Koreans. They're like, oh, you guys
Yeah.
didn't fight a real war. Our war, we fought a real war. You guys
Yeah.
couldn't fight a war. They would consider what is it? Criminals. They will kill everybody. But the thing with Vietnam and the Korean War is that you didn't know your enemy. Did you know your enemy? You don't know. You're crossing South Vietnam to North Vietnam, and you don't know who's your enemy. Everybody is in the village. Everybody is cropping rice. The Black Panthers had acupuncture clinics to stop those addictions. Yeah, they did. They did.
Sorry
They were
about
around them.
messing up your Black Panther party.
No, he said he got my other uncle on it, and we lost him too. And my aunts were on it. My uncle came back from Vietnam as a helper. Yeah. See, the thing is, they started over there because they allowed them to get drugs out there. It was given to them. It was on their free time. They were doing drugs, heroin, cocaine, marijuana.
I think the heroin was the biggest thing with the Vietnam vets getting back, because a lot of them had free access to morphine at the time. They're dealing with a lot of shit going on.
I think the Vietnam War was as brutal as the Korean and the World War II. I mean, let's get it straight. You're doing hand to hand combat.
I think all war is gonna be. I can't. I mean, being in peacetime. I mean, I've seen the movies and seen that. But I mean, technically, I'm a civilian. I've lived a civilian life. I've never had to deal with war. I've never had to do the things that these guys had to do to survive, you know? And when it gets down to it, that's, uh, I commend
Well,
them for what they had to do for our country. You know what I mean?
let's put it this way. Let's make it. Let's give you. Let me give you a scenario. My my ex brother-in-law. He
Uh-huh.
he joined the Marines with another kid. Well, he met this kid that I knew from my neighborhood was just barely 18, and when he finished high school at 19 or 18 to 19, he went to the Marines. Well, he comes back with his friend, his platoon, or a guy from his platoon, and also young. And I'm like, damn, you guys are really young to be in this. I mean, I wanted to join the Marines, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
Where I wanted to come, but when years after that, I was like 27, 28, and I'm looking at these kids really young, and I'm like, and then the first thing that they came out of their mouth was that they were going to do a tour. Their first tour was going to be in Iraq, and this is during the time when it was post-war, after the first Desert Storm. Now you have Junior in war. These kids were going to Iraq during the second term. Well, when George W. Bush was president. Now, when they
Yeah.
took over, they were just doing patrolling. He said that he was doing patrolling in the oil fields. I doubt that he was. That was one of his, maybe he can't say what he was doing. But from the time that before he left to Afghanistan, Iraq, and to the time that he married my sister, that kid, it was a totally different person. Like, I could tell that there was something not right about him. Yeah,
Yeah.
he would have pictures of it in his house. There was a lot of pictures of his platoon, of his, part of his platoon where it was a lot of photo of him, in
Yeah.
Iraq. And this guy, I don't know, he must have caught, like, my sister divorced him, but from what I'm guessing, that this guy was having some PTSD, and I'm thinking that this kid, at the age of 19, you're given a rifle to go out there and to shoot somebody. Not everybody's prepared to kill somebody. Not
Yeah.
everybody. Not everybody can say, "Oh, I gotta kill that person because if it's I like doing it." No, I don't think they like doing it. And not only that they don't like doing it. It's just that it's the most. I mean, hunting an animal is totally different from killing a human being. That's what I think. And this kid came out, after a while, he took down all those pictures that he had, and all the stuff that he had from the Marines. There was like a huge everywhere in the house. There was pictures of him and his platoon, and surely it started to disappear to the point where he just became a religious. Now he's a religious freak, like. And I'm thinking that, hey, look, I mean, more power to him. I mean, maybe religion, maybe going to church has helped him with his PTSD, whatever it is. But I'll tell you one thing: you can't give a 19-year-old a rifle and so called say he's trained, he passed boot camp. He probably shot some dummies. But to shoot a human being that that you killing somebody and he drops like a sack of potato, I mean, I don't think that's good for the brain for somebody in their head. Oh, Brandon left.
No, he's there.
Oh, I thought he left. Yeah,
Yeah, when it comes to warfare and unaliving people, that's
I don't think a lot of people can do something like that. Just pick up pick the, as much as you said that you're in the, yeah, some of them have, some of them don't. Like, the movie Black Hawk Down, when that guy was at the last scene that he was saying, nah, you stay here, you can't come with me, um what I have to go back home. People are gonna consider me, a war junkie, blasey blasey, this and that. I mean, some people have it in them, and it's probably because I'll get to this, because it's the way that they were raised. Maybe they were abused as a child or as a teenager. Their parents were abusive. Maybe the mom or the dad was divorced and they had an abusive, stepmom. And to get away from it, they go to the military, and they find a way to saying, this is the best thing that has ever happened to me. I'm going to join special forces now. Some of them, they just disappeared. They just get too deep inside that, and it's just because of the way they were being raised. And I see
But I
that
think
more.
that's.
What?
I want to interrupt you for 1 second because I think that some people just are born that way. Some people just enjoy that. You don't.
Yeah,
Does that
that
make
too.
sense?
It could be
Yeah.
that too.
You know.
And they join the military, and those are the people that you see end up doing clandestine work. They end up working for, the agencies.
Yeah.
They don't have no family. They don't have no kids. They just, yeah, they're just out there just for that. And they are people like that. Some of them are, they're born like that, like you said, and some people are, pissed off the world because of the way
Why?
they
Just
were raised.
wired that way. Some people are just wired that way, and it's not only just in the military, but it's just like we talk about. It's on the streets too. You got to be. I mean, just some people are just wired different. You know what I mean?
That's right. Why are very different? I'm telling you, they enjoy that. So,
Yeah.
I mean, some people are, some people are not, and the ones that are not, those are the ones that come back with problems.
Yeah.
Um, that the government doesn't pay attention to that. Of
That's
course, they don't.
sad.
They they
Yeah, I agree with you there. It's sad.
they rather spend money on new jacks to go in the military, but they will not spend the money for the ones that serve the country and that had been, mentally disturbed. Some of them
Yeah.
definitely need to be, on a watch list. Um, it's not easy. And then some of them are those drugs, like I said, the ones that came back from Iraq, the Desert Storm War. Some of them came
Yeah.
back with neurological problems, and it was caused. They ended up. It took like about 10 years, or almost a decade, when they figure out why they were having these neurological problems, and it was because of that pill that they took. I think
There's a lot of shit going on. They were also they were using some gas weapons in Iraq too. You know.
well, they say that
Um.
they used the gas, and then it was contaminated on the ground,
Yeah.
things like that. They said some of
I got a cousin that's dealing with that. You know.
I heard that there was another thing that they were using. Most ammunition are uranium dirty, like they're uranium tips or uranium. It has radiation, or they're just like dirty. What's it called? Dirty uranium. I can't. It's already uranium that they use for power.
Yeah,
What is
yeah.
it called?
So it's radioactive basically.
Yeah, it's basically all radioactive, and as if remember the what was it called? The Highway of Death, when people were fleeing Iraq, and the United States was carpet bombing the whole entire like road. Those people like being all dead. Um, it was called the Highway of Death, right, Leo?
I'm not familiar with that. I
I
can't
remember.
comment.
Remember that there was like a big ass road leaving the capital of Iraq, going to other cities, and what they'll do is they'll just carpet bomb with B-52s. I mean, oh my god.
Yeah.
So they will say that there was a lot of radiation, and there's a lot of the grounds are contaminated over there, and a lot of them are having, to this day, they're still suffering from neurological problems. Some of them can't even walk. Some of them got what is it called, multiple sclerosis or something like that.
Yeah.
They develop multiple sclerosis. Crazy stuff. Well, guys, I'm gonna head and take a little power nap before I continue driving. I gotta go to.
All right. Tony,
Yeah,
always a pleasure talking to you, man.
This is a good moment. This is a good time to call it a night.
Sorry I caught
What do
you
you think,
late
Brendan?
there, Solomon.
Have a good one, man. Have a good night, guys.
I enjoyed it, guys, very much, and thanks to everybody who came over from other channels, stuck around, and even if you didn't stick around and you just popped in to say hello, I'm greatly appreciative of that. So everybody, stay fresh and keep it profitable, okay?
Take care,
Peace.
bud.
Take care.